Every step I take, I move my truth. Every time they tell me stop, I use every comment, hate that makes my fuel. Gather up my energy and boom, I hear them talking, saying the way that I move is so reckless. That is a part of my mind I've been blessed with, giving my blood, so I am relentless.
All right, well, welcome to the Keep Hammering Collective. I'm here with the brainchild behind Dream the movie. This is so Pauling brothers, Ben and Sam, and Steven Cox, right?
Yep.
How did we get here?
Oh man.
Wow.
Yeah. This guy.
Yeah. So in 2020, we were, kind of all in the throes of COVID. Everything, kind of the world kind of stopped, right? So I remember it was in August of 2020. I woke up from this dream that I had where I was, kind of in front of this industrial fenced-in warehouse building place on this road near the train tracks, and I just felt like there was some nefarious activity going on behind these walls. And this guy comes up and he's like, giving me a story of kind of like, what are you doing here? This place is shut down. It was a very vivid, specific dream. He's like, what he actually said was, we just shut the place down. Had to send our 300 employees home. What are you doing here? And then comes towards me like he's gonna kill me. I wake up in the dream and I was just like, this is. I didn't know what to think of it. At first, I just felt like there was like something to it, and then I immediately texted my brother and I was like, I think there's some sort of like trafficking ring going on. And it was right at that same time too, I was getting more aware of that subject, and that, there's these rescues going on where there's 100 kids rescued in a trailer, or 50 kids rescued in this home or something like that, and no one was really giving it the kind of attention you think something like that would deserve, And so I just started thinking, man, I think this could possibly be one of those scenarios. So I went driving around looking for this place, listening to music as I do usually when I'm driving, and this whole download of this storyline just came to me. And I was just like, man, that would just be totally insane if I had a dream and it led to a rescue of some children, or some sort of really powerful rescue thing.
Yeah.
And then I immediately kind of came up with this idea to make a short film. I told my buddy Steven here about it. We started developing this short film story, and then soon pretty much I was convinced to turn it into a feature film. And I was like, I don't know, I don't think it has the legs for a feature film, but we did it anyways, and then pretty soon, just out of just sheer, whatever you want to call it, stupidity, or just just blind confidence, we sent it to an A-list actor's agent, and immediately he responded, and he was really interested in doing it. We set up a Zoom. We were thinking we were going to make this movie with this.
So this was a script. You
guys
the
script.
Wrote the screenplay, the script.
And so to get him on board, we really wanted to show what we were capable of. So we went out and we shot this trailer to kind of put together the scenes of what we thought was going to be the storyline, which is essentially about this young man whose little sister goes missing at this fairgrounds event, and 3 years later she's never found. And he has this dream that leads him and his kind of ragtag blue-collar friends into breaking into this warehouse and uncovering this underbelly in their small town. And so we did that, and then we just sat on it for a while. We didn't really sit on it. We were pitching it around Hollywood for a while, and no one wanted to pick up a story about that.
What were they saying?
It's actually interesting because Sound of Freedom hadn't been released at that point in time. And so the kind of consensus from everyone was, don't make a movie about that, just try to focus more on the thriller elements, because that's not marketable. This other movie, Sound of Freedom, has been sitting on the shelf for 4 years, so that's not going to be good, marketing-wise, to make movies about something like that.
Because there's not a demand if that one was out there,
Yeah, and then, the whole, for whatever reason, the politics of Hollywood around that kind of stuff anyways, too. So we just kept kind of bouncing around for a year.
We sent it to Jeremy.
Yeah, we sent it to Steven's friend, who's
He's the lead in Succession.
Oh yeah. Jeremy Strong.
Yeah, and he was, I'd known him from way back when, but we sent him the script, and he loved it. And so there was this A-list actor that responded super well to it, and then he responded super well to it, and he had sent it to his agents and managers, so we knew we had something.
Yeah.
What he told us was that I can get you to get a really big director on it, or get it to this production company, but you guys won't be in it, and you're not going to be directing it.
And he said that if they wanted to direct it and us to star in it, we'd pretty much have to move heaven and earth to make the movie. But he said we should.
Yeah.
He said that. Pretty much. What he said was, you guys need to go make the movie.
Yeah.
Figure out how to do it.
It's similar to Rocky, how Sylvester Stallone wrote it.
Yeah.
They said you wouldn't be in it or whatever, and then he said, "No, I'm going to be in it," and just took the chance. So it's similar to that.
Right.
And that. Yeah, and those actors, they must get scripts to read all the time, don't they?
Yeah, that was one of the things. The actor that originally was speaking with says, I read scripts all the time. Usually lose interest after page 5, but he was just hooked the whole time. And it was I've written probably 10 scripts. And so it was the only script that was almost felt like it was just effortless. It just felt like it was a message from God. It just felt like it was a download. And every time we would work on the script together, it was just so full of just it felt like it was a movie that had already been made.
Yeah.
It felt like it was a movie that had already been made, but it hadn't been made yet. So we were the ones that got to make it.
You're like translators.
Yeah.
For this message.
Yeah. And so it ended up being that there's a lot of political stuff with the whole thing with the child trafficking, and people are on the the one side of the aisle are that's not happening, right? And obviously anyone who's has any knowledge at all knows how big of an issue this is, and it's pretty blatantly clear where who's on the right side of that battle, And so because of the fact that that's the case, and people in the industry aren't on the right side of that, for the most part, definitely not in a way where they would be willing to risk their career to do it.
Yeah.
For instance, the guy, Jim Caviezel, his agencies dropped him, his lawyers dropped him after he took on doing that movie.
Who? Which one?
Sound of Freedom.
Oh, yeah.
The main guy, after he decided to do that, they dropped him.
Yeah.
Actually, they dropped him before he even filmed that movie.
Yeah, they dropped him.
Just because they knew about it?
Because they knew that he was deciding to do that movie.
It's a risk,
Yeah.
Well, what's also interesting is not only is it a risky subject matter, but it's also a risk having first-time directors and no names leading the film.
Yeah.
So there's kind of already 2 strikes against us in, getting this thing made.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then what happened was we pretty much just we had this trailer, and everyone in Hollywood would pretty much be that's the best sizzle trailer I've ever seen. This is the best concept trailer I've ever seen.
Yeah, when we watched it, we were
is this where we watched the movie, right?
Yeah.
And so we thought, oh, cool, maybe someone's going to have to, but it was just a difference of values. No one wanted to take that on. They didn't want to take it on with us because everything in the industry is based off of this person's name is equal to this.
Yeah.
And we'll make that movie, whether the movie's good or not, as long as this person's in that role. And if I was willing to give my role up, then we probably could have made it already. If we were willing to give up our roles, we could have got Austin Butler or something. But
yeah.
But we weren't going to do that. So we ended up, I ended up at the beginning of 2023 just really feeling led from God to take this 7-day fast. And so I did that, and it was just during that whole week that I just really felt like every single day was some crazy sign thing that was taking place. Crazy. I was really hearing clearly. And then after that, I just felt spurred we thought maybe we would do this thing with the Angel Studios thing. So you've heard of that? That's the company that made Sound of Freedom's distribution.
Okay, yeah.
So we thought we would do that.
Mm-hmm.
We went through it. We got the highest score on their barometer thing when it comes to those torches or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then nothing ended up you're supposed to go through that, and then they immediately give you a distribution contract.
Mhm.
Nothing came out of it, but I was like, okay, that actually makes sense. Because that's probably going to pigeonhole us anyways, it being just faith-based.
Yeah.
But I just ended up like feeling like he kept saying like, man, we just gotta raise money on our own, create our own crowdfunding thing.
Yeah.
And so like I was like, well how do we do that? You know, because I don't have like an Instagram following or an influencer following. We don't have any idea about any of that stuff.
Mhm.
So what we thought we would do was we set up like an account or whatever, but we were going to get someone else that had a big following and have them post it.
Mhm.
So then maybe that would help create
Yeah.
to where people would
Interest.
come and
Yep.
start, raising money. So we go to do that, and then the person that he was posted said that they couldn't post it because of some sort of musical rights thing or something.
Mm.
So I was actually illegally not texting and driving, but like on the way to church.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, let me just try posting it
Yeah.
on our account.
Yeah.
And I do it like screen recording, like I'm listening to my music in the video,
Mhm.
and then I press play of the video in the video. And I post it, and then like within an hour, like 100,000 people have seen it. And 200,000 people saw it, and like a
That's
million
a
people
trailer?
saw it, yeah.
Yeah.
And 2 million people saw it, and then now like over 10 million people have seen it.
Yeah.
And like that opened a lot of connections with different people. And then God just like started just moving like in crazy ways, just connecting people with us. I was flying all over the country, a bunch of different news networks, just meeting people on different podcasts and stuff. And then ended up just like having like just these amazing people that would just came behind us, like they're gonna put like $300,000 in. I'm gonna put $100,000 in, and then we raised like over $200,000 in like just donations, just donations.
Yeah.
And we ended up like like pretty much like raising almost as much money as we would have got if we had the A-list actor that they would give us to be able to make the movie. With like these connections now with these child rescue organizations that we've now made that are just like our lifelong like friends that are like doing this work every day, like sending us videos of the kids they're rescuing, and just like it's just been like, and then the donations ROI on those from the film are going to be going towards supporting the work that they're doing.
Mhm.
And it's just been like, it's been a totally insane last year. Like, and then now, so now we're halfway through making the movie and you're in it.
I know. Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah. Day 18 of 32, I think today was.
Gosh. How was that for you?
Today?
Yeah.
Really easy.
It was an easier day.
Oh, it was
For
easy.
you.
Yeah, for me.
I don't remember what happened today.
Yeah, today was more fun.
Yeah.
Finally, I had a fun
Yeah,
day.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
You didn't have to like worry about screwing anything up.
Oh man, it's so stressful. But I did want to hear. So Sam, how do you fit in the story? Where'd you come? And we'll get back to it. But you've written 10 scripts.
Yeah.
So I want to hear that because you're young. You guys are all young, and it's like just busting out movies, just ideas or whatever. But save that for a second. Sam, tell me how you fit in.
Yeah, I mean, well, like, okay, so it started with Steven and I doing, like, acting together.
Okay.
And I think we were in an acting class together when I
In
was...
LA or where?
No, up in Northern
Sacramento.
California.
So
And that's how we met.
We're all from this town, Auburn.
Yeah.
Steven was a senior when I was a freshman, but I didn't really know him.
Mm-hmm.
But I did know him from seeing him at a rally because he was doing the moonwalk. And I remember seeing him like, oh, that guy's wearing like some Ralph Lauren polos and doing the
Let's
moonwalk.
see-
Like,
let's
okay,
see
that
the
guy's got some
moonwalk here.
style.
I don't have the socks, man.
and then what happened was Sam was going to acting class.
Yeah,
And
so
he was learning how to like.
we were doing this thing in the acting class where we're going up there and supposedly we're supposed to tell each other like why we're here, and, like what we want to be doing this for. And Steven was like the only one who was like, oh yeah, okay, we're gonna do this forever, this guy and I. So I remember I went up to you and I'm like, dude, we're gonna do movies together.
Yeah, you want to know what's funny is I vividly remember this conversation. I didn't know Sam that well, but I had mentioned something like I'm a believer and like I really want to make movies, and like I just, you know, I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what, like, you know, having a relationship with God and making like really compelling narratives looks like. And he just kind of smiled. He's like, well, you're in good company, man, because I'm a believer. And he, you know, he didn't say this, but I should have known. He's like, I'm a believer and I'm really talented, you know, and we're going to go really far. And to answer your question, Cameron, on Sam's behalf, everything this guy shoots and directs, and, you know, you're experiencing this yourself, is just, it's just absolutely beautiful. Like cinematically beautiful. It takes forever, you know, and we all experience that, but
thanks, man.
But yeah, it's just like it is a gift.
Yeah.
It is a very exclusive gift that Sam has, in just how he shoots, how he works with actors, and all that stuff. And obviously, Dream will reveal that to the audience.
Well, we all did because I'm an actor before directing, Ben and I were going to do a short film together when we were pretty young, like in 2013. And so I'm like, I don't think I can do all this stuff. I think I just want to direct this. And I was like, oh, I can get Steven. So they became brothers.
Well, what
in a
happened
short
was-
film.
What happened was, actually, he's like, you were going to the acting class, and I think maybe you met my mom or something like that. I remember my mom was like, yeah, Sam's going to this guy from your school. He looks like he could be your brother.
Yeah.
So then
Yeah, they look like
we ended up playing
like
brothers in a short film. It wasn't really even a short film. It was like kind of a long short film.
Yeah.
It's like 45 minutes.
Well, we shot it too within like 5 years.
Yeah.
Well, it took a
Sam's
long
getaway.
time.
It wasn't 5 years, but it was like a year and a half, 2 years.
He got pickup shots like 3 years after.
Oh.
It was like a long short film.
How did it turn out?
Well,
It had some
Robert
moments.
Duvall watched it and he
Really?
thought it was confusing.
But the funny
lead up though was
poetic.
so jumping stories here. After we finished the short film, I worked at this previous place that this one guy, Brian Rogers, worked at with me as a producer. He's like, I promise you, go do your first short film and then I'll produce your first feature. He got the rights to Godzilla in 2010-ish, and I didn't know what that meant, but then he brought that to Legendary Pictures, and voila, they're doing all their franchise stuff for Godzilla. So he's like one of the main producers because he brought it to them. And then he kind of held onto his promise with us, and he wanted to do the film that Ben and I wanted to do before COVID happened, which was this movie about the California fires and 100,000 people went homeless overnight, and all three of us were going to do that. And I was directing that one, but Ben and I were writing that together. And then COVID happened, we couldn't do that, so then Ben and I were like, well, what do we do now? And so that's when Ben got the dream. It's kind of in that chronological order that all sort of took place. And then, you know, Brian from Godzilla is like, you know, I called him up and said, could we do this together? That would really help if your name's on that. And I could say from the producers of Godzilla and then all that, you know.
And you did.
Yeah.
Because I did see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely adds credibility when you have, you know, known names in the industry and they're backing it or involved in it. You're like, oh, okay. So that, obviously that is a big part. Yeah, you don't get the A-list actor, which would bring whatever, but that comes with, you know, a lot of stipulations, and then you, as you said, you guys wouldn't be involved.
And yeah, it definitely adds, you know, elements when you're working with actors that are at a certain level of, you know.
Yeah, it sounds like there's, I mean, the name, the product sometimes turns out good, but there's a lot of baggage that comes with those big names too, it sounds like.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, man.
it's not all gravy.
It is interesting though, because not that we've met a lot of A-listers and stuff like that, but you know, for example, Jeremy Strong, you know, I know him relatively well, and he's the nicest guy, super humble, hardest worker, you know. So I think it's interesting because, like, you know, when you do meet the, like, I don't know, the actors that are really good at their craft, and you know, you can tell they like give everything to their roles and stuff like that. There is a sense of humility, and it's like you want to work with them versus, you know, the people that are maybe just used to doing stuff for the paycheck, or just used to just kind of like cranking out TV and stuff like that. That's typically when there's a certain attitude that's not conducive to like telling a good story, you know. I don't know if you guys would agree with that.
Yeah, and I noticed that kind of trailing into another thing as well, but I really like it when you guys are asking questions as actors. I'm like, that's really amazing, because you're interested in the why you're doing something, and then that opens up the door to the how do you get there. And you do that a lot, and then Steven does that with Ben and I. But I feel like I mean, you know what the story's been for like the last 4 years, so all your questions are kind of questioned out, you know? X'd all the boxes, but I feel like that connects there. And I was just reading a portion of the script and the dialogue. I'm so like going on a different track, but the dialogue's really good, Ben. Like the stuff with Sloan that we haven't shot yet, with some of the off-screen dialogue's just really fun to read.
Yeah, how it's been is you guys are so so married to the script, just because all this time and being so involved. We kind of jump around sometimes on scenes. Yeah. So I need to say, okay, where are we coming from on this? Because for example, yesterday, I totally was off on what I thought when I was telling Sloan, hey, it's 3 a.m., let's get out of here. Yeah. I thought, God, this should be great. It's going to be an easy scene. It's just late. Let's go home. And I was totally off on what that scene was about and what it meant, and then what she was looking at, then what I was going to see, because I was over her shoulder looking at what she had been working on and how that was affecting me. So I didn't get it. I missed it. But so I have to ask. And that was just one example. There's been a million examples just in the days that I've been involved in the shooting. But it's just, for me, it's been fascinating learning. I mean, I never really thought about how a movie was made, really. I mean, I knew it was, you know, a lot of takes or this, no clue. Just setting up the lighting, that you guys have this vision of lighting. You guys know you're such movie fans, or just love the art of movie making and acting. To be really, you guys as actors are incredible, but just the detail on, like, you showed me a still from the movie Seven, and you said, oh yeah, see how the light coming in from this way is blue, from this way it's warmer, and it, you know, then it makes the scene feel and look different. I was like, what? And then watching, you know, you are looking at the camera, you're getting the lighting set up, you know, just how it affects everything. I was like blown away. Yeah, it's so crazy, and you guys, cool. You care so much about doing it right.
Yeah, well, I think for me, and I know for you guys too, and probably why you even want to be involved is because of the fact that it's not really about like making like, oh my gosh, oh look at this cool movie, you know. It's like we want to affect people in a way where you can actually help, like, introduce people to God, really. Like having an encounter, having a transformative thing that can pierce, maybe reveal something of some people's own lives, and have that kind of transformative, just like encounter with connection
Mm-hmm.
and love, and especially in this circumstance, to do it in a way that gives honor and truth and hope and guidance to people that are in this situation, and awareness and the ability to stand up and fight for people that aren't aware
Mm-hmm.
of this horrific tragedy that's taking place every single day in a million different ways, in this country
Mm-hmm.
to a great degree with the foster care system at the border, with just the appetite of just evil
Yeah.
that's taking place, that's growing. We learn there's like thousands of percent increase of appetite for these child materials in our country. And so evil's just growing, and the appetite for it's growing, but also it's just like, it's culture really that's kind of like fostering this idea that you can do whatever you want. And with that, like, people are taking that to the darkest level.
Right.
Because they have the mentality or the ideology that allows for that.
Mm-hmm.
That there isn't a line.
Yeah.
Right? You get to create your own. It's your story, and I think that, like, with what we're trying to do with this story, right, is really kind of show what it's like to be going through a tragedy like that from a point of view of like everyday people.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to dismiss it if it's someone else, some other country, some
Right.
other little. But if it's like someone like just every day, every man type person,
Yeah.
it's like could be like you, could be like somebody. It could be your
Yeah.
kid. It could be. It's not CIA agent, Liam Neeson's kid from Taken, that has all. But it could be like a regular person.
Yeah.
And like from that perspective, how can you, pull someone's heartstrings or something if they realize, oh, this isn't just someone else. This could be. What if it was you?
I was thinking about this last night because this is what this story's done to me, even just being involved in it. It was like, life is hard anyway. Every family has challenges. Raising kids is hard. It's hard being a good parent. It's hard giving guidance. It's hard. You worry about so much. Let alone, I was thinking, is this going to be a thing where you have kids and now all of a sudden you have to worry about somebody taking your kid? Because it's happening.
Right.
And so this isn't like a thing that people used to have to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, and also I think more than even that, it's just like whether it's that version of it, or it's someone just, or if it's this whole industry version where like people are groomed into it.
Mm-hmm.
The hope is that you pull the most heartstrings to where people are wanting to do something about it.
Right.
So it's not to strike fear in people's hearts that
Right.
you can't take your kids out in public or something like that.
Yeah.
Because that's actually not the most likely scenario. But that's the most heart-wrenching scenario that would pull someone's heartstrings,
Mm-hmm.
to where everyone would feel like that could possibly be a scenario that they would have, right? And then it just really kind of feels like the greatest equalizer of anyone's issues going on in their life. Like it can't, anything that you could, probably is not nearly as horrific or bad as being one of those kids.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's terrible to even think about.
Yeah.
And I think it's important, and we were kind of talking about this, like each day on set, just remembering like why we're
Trying to
telling
bring
the
that
story.
bring that reminder in,
Like-
because we forget so easily.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people in our crew, and there's a lot of people that don't really understand,
Right.
even what's, the story in the story, And so just being able to bring that and bring it, that is very difficult when you've got so many different things going on.
Yeah.
But we're learning we're praying, and we're learning how to be salt and light, and it's not easy to walk.
No.
It's not easy to walk to do it, but easy and great usually don't go hand in hand. So.
No.
Black Rifle Coffee is celebrating a decade of coffee in 2024. They're the only coffee I drink, and supporting them is supporting veterans and the outdoor community. One of my favorite packages that I get on a monthly basis is a Black Rifle Coffee Club exclusive coffee roast. The only way you can get it is if you subscribe to the coffee club. The exclusive coffee club subscription gives you nothing but the best. It's a coffee of the month club where you get premium roasts from the best farms worldwide. Black Rifle Coffee is America's coffee. It's veteran owned and operated. They support hunting and conservation and give back immensely to the veteran community. They're offering followers of the podcast 20% off on your first purchase to the coffee club or order on their site using code KEEPHAMMERING to get America's coffee today. Sig Sauer is leading the firearm outdoor industry in American innovation, ingenuity, and manufacturing. For over 250 years, Sig Sauer has evolved and thrived by blending American ingenuity, German engineering, and Swiss precision. SIG is synonymous with industry-leading quality and innovation, which has made it the brand of choice amongst the U.S. military, the global defense community, law enforcement, competitive shooters, hunters, and responsible citizens. That's why I have decided to partner with them for my personal protection and concealed carry of choice. SIG and I are working on some pretty cool collaborations for the archery community as well, and I'm thrilled to have them as a sponsor of the show. SIG is actually offering you guys a discount on optics too, which is unheard of in the industry. I'm looking forward to trying out their new image stabilizing binos, the Zulu 6 on my bear hunt in Alberta with the rivets. Those are also 10% off using code CAM at sigsauer.com. That's code CAM for 10% off.
It's been a fascinating experience. I'm so impressed with you guys. I can't help but think of myself at your guys' age, and I'd be like, I would be barely capable of holding down a job. So the fact that you guys can I don't know, make this movie happen on your own is unbelievable. But yeah, it's like I mean, how does it feel to go from writing it 4 years ago and this whole thing to actually now it feels hard every day, but you're actually close to the finish line almost.
It's like, honestly,
getting pretty dang close.
Yeah.
It sort of feels like the movie Click.
Yeah.
Like we just fast forwarded because it
boy.
just felt like it was never gonna happen.
Yeah, so many hurdles.
Yeah.
And you're like, one questioning probably.
Yeah, I mean, it's very strange and interesting because like a lot of these people that we've invited, like you, to be a part of it, have just joined in at like the last second.
Yeah.
And now you get to be a part of like what we've been like literally like putting our life on hold for like half a decade.
I know.
And like, oh yeah, we got that scene. I was like, no, like that scene has been like like a long time coming.
Yeah.
And we're like,
Very long.
This has been a long day.
Oh,
A long day?
A
long day?
Yeah. Like what you guys just jumped into, that last scene.
Yeah.
Which I don't think we should say what the scenes
No.
are.
No, yeah, we don't want to.
But
display
that last thing that we just shot, like I was just telling Steven, like after, I'm like, dude, it's weird. We've been talking about that scene for years.
Yeah.
And it was while I was behind the camera, I was like thinking, I wonder if he's thinking about that same thing I'm thinking about right now. Like, yeah, we've been thinking about this for like years.
We do that pretty much every day. We're like, what the heck are we?
Yeah.
Are we here right now?
Yeah.
And it's weird because production, as you can attest to, is crazy, right? But there's another part of me that doesn't want it to end, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm literally, regardless of what happens each and every day, all the fires that come, the obstacles that weren't foreseen, I still get done at the end of the day, and I literally feel like I won the lottery to be able to make this movie.
Yeah.
And there's nothing else I'd rather be doing.
Yeah.
You know, and that, yeah, it's a very...
It's just, yeah, it's
Well,
a gift.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, from my perspective,
It's too much though. It's like it's like overwhelming.
no. But here's the thing: from my perspective,
It's too much of a gift. Take it back.
oh yeah. Well, what impresses me is it is long days. I know we can talk about like in the grand scheme of things, it's not, but still, you know, a 15-hour day is a 15-hour day.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys never lose enthusiasm or being positive or still being creative, still wanting to get the shot perfect,
Right.
no matter how late it is.
Yeah.
And that's so rare. You guys are hard freaking workers, have this vision, and won't settle for anything other than doing it to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
And that's meant you've lost, actors, you've changed whatever. There's been a lot of things and it's like, oh, no, it's
a lot of stuff.
we can get through it. We
shifted,
readjust, shift, overcome.
Yeah.
And here's still the standard.
Almost every day there's a change.
Yeah. There's something to overcome, but the standard I've never seen it change.
Yeah.
It's still excellence.
Yeah.
And that's what is like, I can't say I would do that. I'd be like, God, let's just, okay, good enough. Good enough.
Good enough. On to the next one.
But you guys make me want to do better, want to care more, want to, it's just, it's just so inspired.
Wow.
It's super.
Appreciate that.
I mean,
that means a lot, man.
It's incredible.
I don't even know if I believe what you're saying right now.
I'm totally 100% blown away.
Wow,
and I say that, I know you guys have heard me say I don't know what I'm doing, I suck, blah, blah, blah. But now that I'm done pretty much with my lines, I'm like, I kind of wish I had some more lines.
Oh man, we can write something.
No, man. But I think we respect you a lot for not having any sort of experience or expertise in what we're trying to do, and you kind of having the humility to just be like, all right, I'm literally starting from nothing and willing to risk looking like a fool or failing or not being the best.
But just throwing it all out there.
Yeah, like I have so much respect for that. Because it's very easy to kind of like stay in your lane and be the best in your lane, but to
go into a completely different world.
Yeah.
And to take something like that on, it's very like it's very it's easy to not do something like that. It's very easy just to not do something like that.
Yeah, I could have definitely made excuses, and I'm going to be honest. There was like a couple days ago when I had more real actors around me. We had Anthony and Jenna there, and I'm supposed to be walking down the hall, and I was like getting ready to walk, and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to say. I'm just like, I cannot even think of what any of my life.
You want to know what's so funny is like we just worked with this experienced actor. He just got off of Killers of the Flower Moon, that Scorsese film, and he still went up on his lines, meaning he went blank.
Yeah.
Like
he stopped halfway through.
He was great,
but he was so good. He was so good. And,
memory and talent don't always go hand in hand.
Yeah, well, maybe you don't. I don't have either, but that was so intimidating because you're on the big camera. Everybody's weighing in. We're ready.
Yeah.
It's set up. Everything's set up.
Yeah.
You got everybody's like, okay, all right, here, boom. And I'm just like, I was like, I didn't even know what to do. I wanted to like run away.
Yeah.
But we got through it.
We got through it, man.
And we got there.
Yeah.
There's moments where it's like,
I'm trying to imagine what it feels like for you because I'm on the other side,
Yeah.
Like my perspective.
No, I remember that. I remember being like that.
Is like this other side.
It's sort of like
jumping in the water. Like you're trying to swim through this thing.
What I was gonna say was it's like learning how to surf, And then when you finally catch that first wave, it's like you felt that yesterday, probably like oh whoa, this is something's happening here.
Yeah.
I feel like you've unlocked something. And you can see it on screen. It's amazing to watch that on screen when someone kind of gets to that place where they're getting the hang of it. And they're
in the pocket.
Right in the pocket, and you're figuring out how to use your vessel really, kind of.
Yeah. I mean, it's powerful. Definitely.
Yeah.
There's some times that you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go for it.
Well, there's some times that you did. I can't say scenes right now, but there's some moments that after we tried a few things, you're like, oh yeah, that feels real. For you.
You could see it. You could see like actively feeling something.
Mm-hmm.
And then you noticed it too. You're like, you came to me and you're like, yeah, Sam, that felt really right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know it when you know it, right? Sort of like you just know it when you know. It's like that.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's such a crazy thing to be an actor and to like create that.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like trying to start a fire, right?
people throw around, you know, being an artist or whatever, but you have to create that feeling, that emotion, or that moment.
Yeah.
And it's not, nobody else can create it. You have to.
Yeah.
That's what's, and when you do, it's like crazy.
But isn't it also interesting that, like, in order to kind of create that organic moment, you kind of have to let go? Like, you can't, like, white knuckle those moments into, like,
It's sort of like
fruition.
hunting down a deer, right? It's like you have to be.
Yeah.
You can't get close if you're.
No, because like an animal can actually feel that. If you're like like this, they'll pick up on that. It's like this. That's how they.
That's
survive.
kind of is with your emotions.
Yeah.
When you're going for it and you're coming in too hot.
Yeah.
It's not. You're not gonna find it.
There was like, you know, because Anthony is like pretty like I don't know what his personality is. I mean, he's East Coast. He's like
From Boston.
Yeah, and just very, that scene, he was mad, right?
Yeah.
So we were trying to, I was having the hardest time getting that right to combat that. It was just like that energy. Yeah, right, exactly. So then Sam and I went out and talked. Nobody knew, whatever, and then I was going to try something different. And when I did it, in that little moment, I could see his eyes, and he was just like, he wasn't ready,
Right.
and it did what it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
And it made him, instead of being aggressive, it made him like a connection.
Yeah.
And that changed everything.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to make that happen, but when it does, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And hopefully there's a camera rolling right when it happens.
And it's your close-up.
Yeah.
And it's on you.
I mean, it's right. There's so many things that go into.
There's so many times where the camera wasn't rolling
capturing it perfect.
fast, and I was like, "Frick, you didn't get that?"
Yeah.
No, we were shooting his angle.
Yeah, that's a whole nother part that people don't realize is you do each of these takes so many times and different. Then it's on you, like you guys call it the single on Cam or on Slump Amy or whatever it is, and then that's when even like we're sitting around the conference table on a couple of days ago, and we had been doing it all. It was the mom, dad, and Ben was over here, and then Amy was here, and everybody got their singles, did the wides, did everything, whatever, and then it's a single on me, and the camera's right here. You know, I was like, it was the hardest thing to not look at the camera. I know it's like that's the one thing you can't do.
Number one.
You can't do it, and I'm just like, why am I feeling like I want to look at the camera?
Like the devil is like, look at the camera.
Yeah, the devil's like trying to make me do it, but
Oh, man.
even stuff like that.
Yeah. Have you had any dreams?
Yeah, I
Lately?
had dreams. Yeah.
Like lately about the movie or anything like that? Or?
I had just weird dreams about my dog, but
Yeah.
I don't remember if my dog broke its leg for some reason.
Oh,
and was
man.
still trying to run around on it. I don't know what that meant, but I don't
know.
know.
Yeah.
But this has been, you know, it sounds way too hippie-ish, but like a season of growth. This whole experience for me personally, and I'm old, you know, I'm 56.
Yeah.
My growing days are probably over for the most part, and this has been like incredible.
Yeah.
I can't tell you guys how honored I am for the opportunity, how impressed I am with you guys, but also how much, you know, I'm old, you guys are as young as my kids, and I don't want to let you down. So
It's so awesome.
it's
That's so cool.
And you probably didn't realize what you're getting into.
oh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
If I know now, you ask me now, it'd be like, God, look at the time. I gotta go.
But you probably didn't know that it was going to be any good either.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't know it was going to be this. I didn't know this is incredible. It's going to be an amazing movie. I mean, I think it's going to do what I think you guys want. Tell the story, this important story that needs to be told. And
Yeah, God willing.
yeah, so it's yeah, it's been just crazy, and it's not over yet. But for you guys, yeah, you're close to the finish line on this long half a decade journey, and
yeah, man.
Yeah.
So just I think the number one thing that we credit it to is just Jesus, God, and prayer.
yeah,
And just having that strong connection to to continue to guide us through the days ahead.
I don't think it would have happened without that.
Oh, 100% not.
I mean,
Yeah.
Prayer,
be off doing
prayer,
something different.
yeah. I mean,
Worked out.
no one would be here without prayer.
Mhm.
Without that because we prayed about every decision we made, every person that we've personally brought on, personally chosen. We've prayed about all those choices, and we prayed about where we're going to shoot it, and how and just how these things come together, even locations. Like a couple days ago, we finally got the location we needed. This construction, like right before we had to film there, and I've been looking for like years,
Months.
Yeah, months, and it's so hard because construction sites they change, and every week it looks different. But this ended up being the perfect location, perfect setting, perfect actors, perfect scene. God's just been like faithful even when we're going crazy and we're doubting, we're having anxiety, we're having fear, and He just shows up. He's just faithful, and He wants what's best for us more than what we know we need, or more than what we think we want, or what we think we need right now. It's like everything that we need and everything we want is He wants better for us.
Right.
And so it's just about just staying in that place of just trust and faith, and just knowing that if things aren't the way that glorifies Him, or the way that is most optimum, it's not over yet. It's not the end of the story. And I think that the message that we want to spread to people that have been through stuff like this is that there's still hope, and that where is God in the midst of this evil, this tragedy, and He wants to move through us. He wants us to step up and be the rescue, be the heroes, be the heroes of our own life, and a lot of times it's within arm's reach. You don't need to go always to some other country to do that, or there's ways, and we hope to be able to give people ways at the end of this film to where they could actually give, they could partner, and they can make a difference for this issue as well. So
yeah. I didn't say this at the beginning, but it's already like almost 2 a.m. and
oh my God.
We've been shooting so long. But I for sure want to get to this one last thing. I'd like just to ask each of you, what has been surprising in this? I don't know, just maybe in the whole journey, you could say that, or maybe even in just the process of the actual filmmaking right now. Has there been something that's been surprising, something that you didn't anticipate, but
something, or
yeah, I mean,
just one thing?
I mean,
Plural.
It feels like your faith, I mean, no matter what has happened, it feels like you were going to figure out how to get back. We talked about that, overcoming. But anything else, maybe it's the support of the city, of Yuba County, the sheriff department. I don't know.
What surprised me? Go ahead.
Yeah, well, honestly, and I don't want this to come across as arrogant, but the first week was crazy. There was a lot of stuff logistically that went wrong. We thought we were going to have to reshoot a lot of stuff. We thought we were going to have to go back and just kind of get some sort of quality with the scenes, and then we looked at the dailies for the first time, and dailies, for people that don't know, are like basically the scenes that we shot, and I was like, oh my gosh, we have something. Like we have really good stuff, and obviously I think we're our own worst critic. So like when we think we have something special, it's like, wow, God really came through for us, because we were not supposed to get that good of shots and those good of scenes under the circumstances that we were in.
I think for me, I agree 100%, and it's been part of the reason why we're so boldly arrogant to continue on, right? And just continue, like, through whatever hurdles. It's like we just know that like, we're getting good stuff. So who cares what anyone else thinks?
Yeah.
But like that, it hasn't been like, hasn't been like a day spa. It has not been like.
It's grind.
It hasn't been what I thought it was gonna be like in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, this is just gonna be like some sort of like amazing like fulfillment of.
Yeah.
It hasn't been fulfilling in that way, but it has been fulfilling in a very just like visceral, just faith way that we know, like, and being put to the test though. Like, it hasn't been like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy today, like, but it's like we know it's sort of like the work when it comes to just putting in work for life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you put in the work and you're getting to where you need to get, and you just need to press on, and then you look back and you're like, oh, yeah, there it is.
But it seems like it's almost even you guys have incredible faith, but almost solidified that faith even to another level because of this. Because even though when you had doubts yourself, then you see it and you're like, God must have had a hand in this, because despite all these doubts, look how beautiful this is. So it doesn't mean that the water is going to be smooth all the time.
No.
There's going to be rough waters for sure, but you're still going to get through.
Yeah.
I think also what's amazed me too is the community, but just like people that are like that I've known. You met Kyle, you met Seth, you met certain people that are part of our crew, Connor. Just the fact that like how much support we had just from just like people just showing up and wanting to just be there every day to help.
They believe,
and it's not their dream.
Yeah,
it's not they're not like specifically gonna get something out of it, but just that like they believe and they're willing to put the people building our warehouse right now. Just the amount of people that are just like behind it. That's what surprises me.
Yeah.
That's what surprised me is like yeah, this is my dream. This could help my career or whatever.
Yeah.
But like really what like encourages me and affects me is like, oh wow, like other people are like along for the ride, like, and it's not even just like for their own gain. No,
Kyle, I looked at him down the hall yesterday before I went into the Ellis at the copy machine, and like I had done a take, and I look at Kyle, and he's just like, how beautiful are these people?
I know, right?
Telling me good job.
Well, that was a good take.
Yeah, that was a great take.
I know, serious. I remember like at the monitor, I was like, oh, that was great. So, but Kyle's the man.
But to your point, it's like support even for me, and he's just one example of.
And then I guess what just surprised me every day is just seeing the actors, just seeing the actors that we've cobbled together, and then just letting them like do their thing. Like you. That you spread.
Well, good, because the expectation was down here, so I didn't have to do much.
Well, I'll be honest. First audition, we were like, I don't know, and then you sent in, I think, was it like 3 or 4 more?
Yeah.
And then I was like,
we had a ton of
we gave you direction.
Yeah, right.
I was like, okay, he can take direction. Oh, wow, okay. Dang. Dang, okay, there's something going on here. We could work with this. Because a lot of people, they just can't register information that you give them.
Right.
And understand what you're saying when and they just keep doing the same thing and they don't understand how to take direction, But for someone to be able to take direction and it translates to where they understand what they need to do now without it, taking 4 hours and then now the day's gone,
Yeah.
That is a talent, So you have that, and it's a raw talent. So,
Sam, what about you? What surprised you the most?
I think when you're in the trenches with all these people, it's really interesting because you may know and may have had conversations with people or even friends of ours. We have friends that are working in the film. And you may know them in one context, but when you jump into the trenches and you're doing these, scenes, and they're all a part of this whole thing, in mind, extremely high intense, the speed. So there's so much stress on the set. You know, there's such a high caliber of like, okay, next thing now. Being in the trenches with everyone, I see everyone's in a different way, and I now know who my best friends are out of it. It's really interesting because you can see who's going to be there to fight with you through it, and then how they're going to respond through that. It's kind of interesting because Steve, Ben, and I, we kind of been through that before, so we know what it's like here, but expanding horizons and having all these people, actors, and then crew, and, you know, there's moments where
we'll just look at each other.
There's just someone else that pops in their head and they pray for us off on the set or whatever, or, you know, they just, you know, like Richie, he puts his hand on my back, he rubs my back, he's like, it's okay, man, we got this, it's good. You got some really good stuff. And I think it's that thing that I did not expect at all to be there. Because for the most part, I feel a ton of weight on my shoulders every day, you know, and I got to show up for him, and I got to show up for everybody, you know, because if I don't, like, we don't have a film.
Yeah, because Sam's not only the co-director, but he's also the cinematographer and camera operator.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I recognize, this is another thing. We have a camera operator, and for the most part, he sits on the side, like, when am I going to be used?
Who's the camera operator?
Which, by the way, you got to
Jose.
Oh,
so we try to use him.
He does a lot of the Steadicam, right?
Yeah, all of the Steadicam. He uses all the Steadicam stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, I was telling him today, you're going to do some Steadicam work, and then I'm like, and Dolly.
Well, and I just want to say something to...
We ran out of time.
To anyone that's inspiring to want to be, you know, doing that, you know, filmmaking, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the scenario or whatever journey it is it takes to get to where we're at, like there was no formula at all. There was no, it was just pretty much just pure faith and just like just perseverance.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'd take like, you know, I'd look at other people's success stories and we'd cling to them, right? And we'd just like cling to like the idea of it being like Good Will Hunting or like Rocky or whatever. We cling to those stories and those ideas, but really at the end of the day, like there's no formula and there's no guarantee, and really it has to be something that's bigger than you. What we feel we have that's kept us focused on it is because it's always just felt like this is bigger than us, and that it's not about us making a film. Really, at the heart of what we're trying to do is like it's a reminder of like the reason to keep going is because if it can help, you know, those kids or other people,
right,
then we're not going to give up.
Right.
It's not just a movie, you know.
Yeah.
And so, and the people, you know, that we're partnering with, they don't see it as just a movie. They really see like this could be a blow of the trumpet, you know, a way to really affect, because you know, Sound of Freedom, that movie did like $300 million, but it didn't really point people to how to directly impact the issue. It just pointed people to buy more tickets for the movie, and then kind of just went back to silence. And what we're wanting to do is make actual real life impact and have clear pathways people can be giving and actually, you know, making affecting change and becoming part of rescues while they're sitting in the theater, you know, and showing them how to do that.
We went out to dinner the other night down here in Auburn, and there's two cops that were sitting. They were off duty, or I mean, they weren't in uniform, but they recognized me and they said they're involved in this type of work, and they said specifically, thank you for helping tell the story.
Yeah. Wow.
Because they're dealing with it. Yeah, great, super good guys. One guy, he rides a horse on patrol. And another guy, he's retired now, but he got shot. He lost, I think it was his ring finger in his right hand. And he got shot in the back too. But they've dealt with this in this area, so they're thankful. So you know, that's just two examples of this little area right here.
Wow.
Yeah, because you know, like you you can't stop speaking to the truth.
Yeah.
You know, just because someone else spoke it however long ago doesn't mean that it's gotten old. Like as long as this world is running, it's broken, and it's going to need people telling stories to help bring light to the darkness.
Yeah.
So, that's what we're here for.
Yeah. Wow.
Has there been any day on set that surprised you the most? Or I mean, obviously, like the whole filmmaking has surprised you, but just is there any specific instance that surprised you?
Just how good you guys are at acting is like amazing to me. I had never been around it, so yeah, that, and then I just sometimes get lost in like kind of like just being a spectator because I'm watching this and I'm just like kind of blown away. Jenna had some great dialogue, long dialogue. I was saying, God, thank God I didn't have all those lines. But she was like delivered the right pause and hesitation and emotion and being thoughtful during the delivery. And I just was like, enjoyed watching it. So that was fun. But you guys have all had those moments. Sam's had some great guidance. You guys being brothers are, to me, much different. You have this you had this dream. So it's like, I don't want to say,
No, say it.
I mean, it's like you don't really want to change to alter maybe the intent of the scene because that's like questioning the dream almost, or the message you got.
Yeah.
So it's different. Sam is just has a different demeanor, and so I get guidance from both of you just in different ways.
Yeah.
But I realized quickly that you have this this is how you want it because this is what the dream said.
Yeah.
And Sam is like, okay, I know, let's try this. It's like still going to get me to the place where you want me to, but in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just a different management style, sort of.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then, you just look like a movie star, so that. But when you
You
do
just
it,
throw him in any scene.
yeah, I know.
That's the guy.
It elevates it. But seeing the pros coming in from the outside has been fun. From the UK and London. We got Shay and Amy. It's great people. It's been awesome.
Yeah.
All the guys for sure. I don't know. I just enjoyed. Oh, and our new guy, George King, playing George King.
Yeah.
He's been great.
Aaron D. Eisenberg.
Oh, he's so nice. Great actor too.
Yeah.
Really whatever scene he's in, you can it's good.
There.
It's just like, it's just money.
He's so good.
Mm-hmm.
He's so good. Wow.
So yeah, it's every day. It's every day. It's just for different little things. I just trying to, selfishly, I'm like, I feel like way out of my comfort zone. So I'm like, it's hard to enjoy it sometimes, or I feel guilty for not enjoying it more or appreciating it more.
Mm-hmm.
But when I think about every day, I'm like, God, today was so beautiful because of X, Y, and Z.
I think what's beautiful about the process though too is like really we're swimming right now, right? So we're even hopping on a podcast to talk about it. Usually you don't do that until
No. Yeah. But I like this update kind of real life when you're tired, end of a day.
Yeah, we get a journal.
It's raw.
We get a journal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of it, being able to look back and see what we've created, and then have that live on, forever. Really.
Yeah.
That's where I feel like it'd be another interesting conversation.
Oh yeah. No.
That would be, because I'm already thinking like.
Because now we can really talk about what we're looking at here.
I'm already thinking about that moment, like when you're done filming and you're editing, and I'm like, man, I wish I could go back and relive some times on set.
Yeah.
And I know I'm gonna wish that.
Mm-hmm.
I think
just so many great people.
wanting
Like,
that.
oh, you weren't there. when we did the shotguns and the dirt bikes.
Oh yeah.
But just some people are willing to open up their properties to us.
Mhm.
The sheriff's station, the jail willing to open
Yeah.
up their facilities
Those
to
guys
us.
have been so good. Love
Yeah.
those guys.
And just
Wendell was the sheriff.
Yeah. We gotta figure out a way to just go back and just to hang out with these guys'
Garza.
facilities. And,
Yeah.
Shout out to Wendell and Garza.
I know. Both the best guys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I called Wendell tonight on the phone when we were getting ready to do that scene outside with with George, and put him in the van and just asking him how to, perfect guidance on how to do it. He was, picks right up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, sorry for bothering you. And he's like, oh no, anytime.
Those
Yeah.
guys are big dudes.
Yeah, he's a bear of a man, isn't he?
Yeah.
Those are like,
Yeah.
they're large guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nicest guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they're
Super
when they
nice.
have to be. I'm sure they can.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're all just volunteering on their days off
No.
to just be there for
Well, he's
us.
gonna be the SWAT.
Yeah.
I can't
Oh yeah,
say
Garza was SWAT originally.
Keep him out the
So
shit.
he's gonna be
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, sweet.
Can't say
SWAT
much.
the flies. He's gonna swat.
Right, swat the flies, of course.
Yeah.
But man, he gave me a hug. I was like, dang, this guy's like, he's got muscle all over this guy.
It's a bow hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it alright if we go off camera and ask James what his biggest surprise has been? During all this? No.
James.
Oh, we can't.
Oh, he's too cool for school.
Camera guy doesn't talk.
Oh,
Camera guy.
sorry.
No, he acts, I don't know what people lie because he's on my podcast. Sometimes we do like a weekly update.
Yeah.
Okay.
And his middle name is James G. Williams. His middle name is Gideon.
Okay.
So
Gideon.
We just say Gideon. We just call him Gideon.
Oh, okay.
It's from the Bible, but so we. That's it.
I understand you better now, Gideon.
I told him he needs to change his Instagram name to just Gideon.
Yeah, that's
Because
a great
it's-
name.
It is, and it's like nobody would confuse. It'd be like Madonna or Prince.
Gideon.
Gideon the Hobbit Master.
Well, that was also a story that kind of inspired me because man, well, hey, God likes to do more with less.
Yeah.
And look at
And
this.
he could defeat the.
Can't get any less than that.
Oh man,
That was a zinger.
oh man.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
So Gideon, seriously.
So on that note, let's go ahead and end it.
Yeah, we'll end it with Gideon's
No.
tell us what
Does he really call you Gideon? You call him Gideon?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give us your perspective, just overarching perspective on the process.
I think, obviously, we watched the trailer, the sizzle,
Okay.
and I remember the first thing I said to you was like, it's really well made. Like,
Oh,
a lot of the
thanks,
time you
man.
see a sizzle, and if it's a smaller budget movie, it's like, I just don't know about that. But immediately it was like, okay, they're really serious about this. So then coming to set and seeing all the moving pieces, all the people, and how it's come together, and even, I think I've told all you guys this, is like, for him not being an actor, 90%, I'm like, yeah, it just wasn't quite there, but you guys always get him to go 100% and like get the take, where it's perfect. And everyone else in their scenes has that take as well. And like, when we go back and watch the dailies, it's like, it's a real movie, it's like really doing it. And so I think that's been just the most impressive part for me, is like, everything looks so good, and the performances feel so authentic.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like talking to Shay too is like, I think we've all been super impressed how he looks on camera. But we watched a scene with him where there was no audio, and you still got what was happening in the scene because he just was so good at conveying his feeling through his eyes.
Yeah.
So I think you guys have done an incredible job, and you alluded to this, but like assembling the perfect team to do it. It seems like everyone that's here is filling their purpose for what role you guys cast them in.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, man,
That's awesome. Thanks
Yeah.
for saying that, man.
it's a miracle.
Both on and off the screen, the team
Yeah.
in its entirety. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a blessing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So is Sheriff Browning filming tomorrow? Cause no.
Sheriff
You guys are out of here on
He's
a
flying out in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah, we're out of here. Yeah, so
We'll see you in July, huh?
I'll be back. Yeah. But so that's the more than halfway update.
Yes. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. But yeah, thanks guys. I thought it'd be fun. I know the people who listen to my podcast, though, they've been following along. We see the engagement on the posts.
Yeah.
James has been taking great photos, stills, like little teasers, like not really teaser, but teaser images to see. Just follow us along on the journey.
Yeah.
They've shown interest and been engaged, and so thought that it'd be nice to sit down with you guys are the reason why we're here doing this.
Yeah.
And I know people will enjoy it, so thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
absolutely.
Yeah, thank you guys for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Thank you for being part of that
Yeah.
process with us.
All right. Well,
Excited to see more.
that's the update. Keep hammering.
Every step I take, I move my truth. Every time they tell me stop, I use. Every comment, hate that makes my fuel. Gather up my energy and boom. I hear them talking, saying the way that I move is so reckless. That is a part of my mind I've been blessed with. Giving my blood, so I am relentless. My fault, they want someone to blame. They sent their hate, it fuels my pace. I am Roy Tough, I am the change, the fuel in dirt. Feeling like Cam Haynes. Oh, give me the Mars, nobody wants, I'll give you my heart. I'll carry the